everybody.
Hoo-hoo!
Welcome to the StabCast and another spooky Sunday. I'm Dizzle here with Mindy.
And Mizzle.
Dizzle and Mizzle. It's going to stick. And we're here to talk about another highly acclaimed movie that people have really been into lately that didn't come out that long ago.
And won 2 awards, too. And it's like the highest grossing indie movie of the entire year last year. That's ridiculous because if you think about it with the strike, with the writer's strike and shit, like everything was indie. So the fact that they were the number one, that's an accomplishment.
It is. It's pretty cool.
I mean, that's something they should be patting themselves on the back for. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So now we're doing Long Legs, baby. Nick Cage, Oscar Perkins, who just directed The Monkey, which is also, getting
I want to see that so bad. It came out last night or Friday night.
Not too long ago.
It came out this week. Though. Hi, how are you? Drake and Dolly. So I have it closer to us. All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
So Long Legs, Nick Cage. First impressions. What did you think, Mindy?
This movie had an amazing way of marketing. Hi guys, hello. Had an amazing way of marketing and stuff, and they marketed Nick Cage basically to be like the star of the movie, and he just, oh my god, he really looks like he poured white paint on himself.
Yeah.
It is so funny, and the shit that comes out of his mouth, and it's just like, the first thing I had thought is, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, what's going on?
Like, that's like the biggest thing, because I wanna make this known too. In the beginning, we really didn't get much backstory in the beginning. We kind of just got thrown in to something. Did you realize that? Like, there's like a whole freaking piece that's missing.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, though.
Yeah, but it irritated me a little bit because I feel like I didn't get everything out of the movie that I wanted to. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, it leaves it up for sequels. I know it's a cult and everything. There probably will be sequels.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. I wish Nicolas Cage would have been in it more.
Yeah.
He wasn't in it enough for me. That Mika Monroe, she was in It Follows. She's going to be in They Follows, and she was in this. I'm sorry, sweetheart. You are such a good actress. You really are, babe. But
you really are.
You got to sit in front of the mirror and work on your facial expressions, sweetheart. Because if you don't, you're not going to end up going anywhere. He's laughing at me because he knows that I'm right. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, surprise. And like do shit like that. Like work on your emotions.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we are fans, and it should be taken with a grain of salt.
Exactly. Like I'm not like the guru of
Scorsese
acting or anything, but like I understand what you mean. I'm not the guru of acting or anything. This is all my own opinion, but I'm just saying I feel like she needs to get in front of a mirror and like see herself.
Yeah. And I can understand that. I do. I think that Nick Cage in this movie, you kind of brought it up yesterday. It's kind of like the Black Phone thing with Ethan Hawke, to where you really think the trailer's all him, and you really think that it's all gonna be him, and then you get in there and he's like maybe in half the movie.
Oh, hello, Ark. How are you?
Hello.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
But yeah, I feel like this didn't have enough Nick Cage. And even though he was in it, and I think every scene that he had was very impactful, and I loved his character work in this, I think they kind of did the thing of like, yeah, Nick Cage is in it, so come watch it. But 50% of it isn't Nick Cage. It's all this other shit which all the other shit going on, I thought was still good shit. So it's not like it was boring.
We are doing our StabCast Live. Hello, Nadim. We're doing our StabCast Live, guys, for the movie with the Nicolas Cage I'm not coming to Pakistan with Nicolas Cage, and it's called Long Legs. So everybody, be respectful, please. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
I don't even know where I was at, but I do think I think that this was a good role for Nick Cage. I thought he was going to be in it more. I don't know if that ruins the movie though. I think you still have a good movie with good shit going on, and I think every scene that he wasn't in was still entertaining. So
Exactly.
It's not like like with Ethan Hawke in The Black Phone when it wasn't him on screen. I thought it was kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there was enough star power behind Nicolas Cage for the movie to work in that kind of way.
Yeah, it could kind of walk on its own.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the other one, they didn't have that big of a casting. They weren't able to really do that.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. But I just think I think that he pushed it to the farthest limit. He reminded me so much of, and I'm really surprised. I feel like he reminded me of it, but he really reminded me of the guy in the Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
The top hat.
Yeah, I can see that.
The top hat motherfucker. Like he was freaky when I was younger. I mean, yeah. I still can't watch that movie, and there's just too much rape in it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I've seen enough clips and shit, and Kevin watched it and whatnot, so like I know what it is about.
Yeah.
And what's going on and everything, and what they look like, and that's to me, minus the black hair, that's kind of how he is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he acts. He's very unhinged. And I love that about Nicolas Cage. Everyone needs to know that. I love that about Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite horror actors, and that's because he just goes, you know what? Hold my beer. I got this. Like, you know, like,
yeah,
he just takes over whatever he's in.
And this was a different type of Nicolas Cage performance, to where you're not getting the Nick Cage to where he's hamming it up to make it good.
No.
He is a little bit, but it's more of a cerebral, psychological approach to the character.
Exactly. He's more so acting out as the character would.
Yeah.
Rather than having the character act a certain way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. And because he goes in there a lot. And I mean, I love Nick Cage, but there's a lot of performances where he's just being extra Nick Cagey just to get it through.
I'm still trying to get you to watch Sympathy for the Devil.
Yes.
Such a good movie.
He's been in a lot of good shit, but a lot of the times he's just being himself. But like,
but this one, I understand what Daniel's talking about. This one was more of him actually acting.
Yeah.
And not just being the Nick Cage that we know
he was
and
getting
love.
In the role, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was a little goofy at times. He had a chuckle out of me. But, I mean, it was a crazy goofy. He was kind of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Well, yeah, and it's not a performance you really go back and laugh at. It's a creepy performance. It's kind of an eerie, you know, and I think he does it well.
Absolutely.
I think that's what this one kind of needs.
Absolutely. And I really feel like they would have failed had they not done that.
Yeah, he's what gives Long Legs, I think, the legs that it needs to succeed, pun unintended. And the rest of the cast really fleshes it out and helps it out. But I think Nick Cage's performance is kind of the, you know.
You need to stop killing me when I take it.
But I think the Nick Cage's performance is very much like the
it's the backbone.
Yeah, of the whole thing.
Yeah. Because even when he's gone, it's still the focus.
Yeah.
Of everything.
And that scene where he's shoving his face into the fucking shit. And
oh my God. All right. So we're going to take it back to the beginning because we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, okay. You know?
Yeah.
Shit. Signal's going out. But anyways, we opened up, like I said, completely lost. You have two FBI newbies, basically. Yeah. And they're looking for this notorious serial. And you're all going to figure out why I'm doing this in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, they all, her and her partner, she stopped them and she's like, he's in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And she's like, I just know. I have a feeling. And people are trying to say that she was clairvoyant or very intuitive or psychic. I actually looked it up And the director actually stated that what it was her repressed memories. That's what that bulb was in their brain.
I can see
in
that.
the doll's brain was repressed memories.
Yeah.
So when the doll's brain got smashed, it was like her brain got smashed and she got overflooded with memories and she passed out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, go ahead, start.
So the movie opens with yes, there's a lot of things about this that entertain me. The first, it's his performance, but
she did a good job.
She did a
and
great
so
job.
did the man that was with her. And oh my God, it was so shocking in the very beginning when she like knows that it's him in there and stuff. And like, we don't know if he is, like, it doesn't show it or anything, but like basically his job is to convince fathers to murder their entire family and anyone else that gets in the way, and then murder themselves when they're done.
Yes.
Turns out to be like a devil satanic cult kind of action thing. Very kind of paranormal possession, cults, very Charles Manson like, because of the fact that he does not lay a hand on anybody.
Yeah.
So very, very Charles Manson, and it just very creepy.
Yeah, the dolls is what making these motherfuckers snap. And
yeah, he's also
family.
a doll maker. I forgot to say that. He is also a doll maker. And he does make the dolls with the orbs in them, but they're not suppressed memories. They're things to screw around with the father and the husband.
Yeah.
Until he becomes so succumbed by everything going on that he goes crazy and he ends up killing everybody, and then he kills himself.
That one dude with the axe was insane.
I know. And like, it was just ridiculous. And like, this one guy will know, like in the beginning, the one's like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, and walks up to the door and opens the door, and it's just like, boom, like shotgun to the face.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, that's what this is. And she also, the reason why they kind of think she's psychic is after that they do a psychic test on her.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and she even says this, there is 16 questions. She only got 8 right. She got 8 wrong.
Yeah.
So, and then the one detective was like, yeah, well, you know, half a psychic is still a psychic. So
yeah,
but she wasn't a psychic. That thing in the doll, because it wasn't meant to hurt her, it was meant to help her. That's where her memories of everything laid.
Yes.
That's where her suppressed memories and everything were taking place and were held, basically. So I mean, I don't know. I liked that. It was a little too knock off a Child's Play for me.
Yeah.
Little bit. Just a little bit. Tiny bit. But I mean, honestly, I really liked the first act.
Yeah.
The first and a half act. I really enjoyed it. Nicolas Cage is absolutely phenomenal as Longlegs, because he not only drops off a gift at somebody's house for their birthday, and these kids are all between the ages of 9 and 11. Doesn't matter if they're a boy or girl.
Yes.
And all of their deaths take place on the 14th, which is their birthday. So he looks these people up to see who has a birthday on the 14th. Why it's the 14th, I don't know. Because he even brings up 13 at some point. But I don't know what the numbers is.
Yeah.
I really don't. I tried deciphering it. I don't know. I also don't know how the hell she read that freaking code without realizing that she had to have been involved with him at some point.
Yeah.
But how are you going to sit there and decipher every single freaking letter to the T?
Yeah.
And you're going to say, oh, I never met him.
I
don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck?
You just know everything about him, but you know.
Like, something is wrong, and like the entire time she's got this like look on her face, like I know something, but I can't say it.
Yes.
That's how I felt. Like her entire face is just like, I have a secret and I can't tell you guys. We gotta wait, which is fine. Didn't mind waiting. It was good for what it was.
No, yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't. You
have
an opposite. Go ahead.
I just think it took away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it took away from it a little bit.
How so?
I don't know. I just think the entertainment of the movie. We're talking about the main character, right?
Yeah.
I think she did a great job, but the focus on her. You think
they should have put someone else in her place?
Yeah, I don't know if she was the right lead for the movie.
You know who would have been? I hate to say this, but Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I mean,
or
I feel bad
Samara Weaving.
Yeah, it's hard because you got the big four that you want to cast and everything.
Or even Jenna Ortega. I feel bad. I don't like the girl from It Follows. I never did. Daniel knows this.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel called me to tell me all about It Follows, and I didn't even want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Daniel, I don't want to watch this. I'm never going to watch this.
And now you're watching a movie with her anyway.
Well, I watched It Follows eventually.
Yeah.
But it was still, I have a thing for later in the show for us to pick out a movie.
Okay, cool.
But I think she's okay. I just, like I said, I think she's just lacking facial expressions.
And that's the one thing that I thought Nick Cage brought to this. Amazing. Is every close up on that fucking dude's face looked creepy and psycho and scary.
Daddy!
Yes.
Because he's driving in the car and he's like, help me!
She was a good, and I will give it to her.
Not her, he did it.
No, I know, but going back to her for a second, I think her character development was really good in this. And I think by the end of it, you're accepting of that character way more than you were going into it. So I do think she did her job in that role. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Nick Cage did a lot of the heavy lifting on this one, if I were to say so myself.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm happy that he won an award and that they broke the streaming records and stuff like that.
What did you think of Agent Carter?
The black?
Yes.
The one that she ended up having to kill?
Yes.
I felt so bad for that little girl.
Me too.
She reminded me of a little Andy Barkley.
Yeah.
I felt so sad for her. And all right, so we got to go to this now because Daniel brought this up. So the reason why Lynn, or what the fuck her name is, was never touched, the detective, the FBI guy, girl, after meeting him, is because her mother devoted her life to being his accomplice.
Yes.
And you find out slowly but surely that he has been living in her motherfucking house.
Yeah.
In her mom's house, in the house that she grew up in for years. And was still there when she came over and shit. Like, he knew things about her.
Yeah.
Like, he knew that when she turned 20 that she got in the police academy and told her how proud of her he was and shit. Like, he thought of her as like a freaking daughter.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe that like he's been living in my house and I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so like her mom's very complacent and she does her job and whatnot because she's protecting her kid.
Yeah.
Completely understand that. The last killing though with the African Americans and whatnot, that was just, to me, that was taking it too far because I feel like Longlegs is dead. She should be okay.
Yeah, you would think.
But if you go back to the cult part of it, probably not.
No.
She's probably in more trouble than she thought she'd be in.
Yeah, she's probably hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The ending also really struck me. the ending really got me, and because this is not a happy ending, it does not end like a lot of when you think of movies, and I know horror movies, but still, you usually get a little light out of at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get any light at the end of this tunnel, Mindy. It was
Mm-mm.
fucking when she tells Lulu, she's like, "Leave, yeah, you got to get the fuck out of here." You know, it really starts to set in, and then credits roll. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a perfect ending to the movie. It really worked for me. As far as like
Me as well.
standout scenes, I think this whole thing just blended really good as a movie and
Absolutely.
worked together well.
Absolutely. And I feel like even though Minka kind of spoiled it for me a little bit, I feel like everyone did their jobs.
Yes.
They all did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. And it was just a really you usually can tell if the director also wrote the movie, and that was the case with this, and you could tell. Because
Is that why it was so beautiful?
Yeah. But also it was a well-formed vision that was of his own vision, and they made it into this, perfect
hell of a
spectacle.
plot.
Yeah. It was a great plot, it was a great story, they got great actors, and they made a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the case with your deal with this. I don't have too much else on it, so I'd give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed this one.
8.5 out of 10 for Dizzle.
Yeah, this was a spectacle. I really enjoyed this movie. Great later stage of his career, Nick Cage performance, which he's been putting on a lot of them lately, but I really enjoyed this one.
But this one, you guys need to understand, this one scared him so much with him being the serial killer and the way that they made him look.
Yeah.
And he went on record saying, "That's it. I'm not doing any more horror."
Yeah, that's insane. And
like,
it makes sense.
If I do, it'll be something I write. And it'll be apocalyptic horror. I will never be a serial killer ever again. Like, apparently, according to him, he couldn't sleep.
Took him to a dark place, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a role that I don't see him do a lot. So to see him kind of put his all into this, it really helped make the movie. And I really
there's one thing I do want to say real quick before I give my review. That is one thing that I can give Nicolas Cage. He is always putting himself 110% into the role.
Yeah.
That he has. He is always pushing himself.
Yes.
And putting him where he needs to be. And honestly, good for him, because somebody as old as him and as wealthy as he is and as successful as he is, they don't have to give a performance of their life. I feel like every time he's in one of these movies, he gives the performance of his life.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's something to be commended with that. What would your rating be?
My rating, I'm going to have to go with, because I really enjoyed it, so I'm actually have to go with an 8.8.
Okay.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I mean, there was things wrong with it, of course. No, there was things wrong with it, of course. There always is.
Yeah.
But the fact that for 2024, it was the highest grossing and viewed movie of 2024. Good for them.
Yeah. Good for them.
I mean, indie movie, not Hollywood, but still good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies in here. I have no idea what these are. Kevin, no, not Kevin. I actually did fill them out, but then I forgot what they were.
Yeah.
And then I put them all together, folded them all up and whatnot. As you can see, they're origami. So go ahead and pick. What's our movie going to be for next week?
Right. What we're doing next week is this is one.
Yep. What we
all
got?
Right. Ringu, the Japanese Ring on Tubi.
Woo!
This is the one that really. This is known as the good one, so I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
So this will be a fun one. Join us for that next week. Ringu.
Yeah, definitely make sure. It's just called The Ring, or Ring, I think, on Tubi. But I
Yeah.
believe if you do put Ringu, it will come up.
Right.
But if you need a setting point for it, it was done in 1998.
Yeah.
So that might help you out a little bit. But yeah, so next week we are definitely going to be doing Ringu.
Yes.
And I think it's very important for us as well for our fans and everybody for you guys to reach out and tell us what you'd like.
Yeah.
Like I've been putting a lot of posts out there, like, do you like this one or do you like this one and whatnot? We're doing that because we want to give you guys the best show possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Keep the suggestions coming, and also comment what your favorite things was from Long Legs under this video, and also hit Mindy up on TikTok and tell her what you like about Ringu, and we'll say it on the show.
All right.
So we'll see everybody next week. This was the Stabcast. Give them a big old hootie hoo, Mindy.
A hitty hoo.
And we'll see everybody next time. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Let's see what we have.